We're here today at Duesenberg in Fullerton, and with us is André Lilac, and he'll be explaining and talking about Duesenberg's design, the inspiration, the artist relations and all that. But first of all, congratulations on your 30th anniversary, André.
Thank you very much.
We're standing here in the guitar, and I know that's an important guitar for you.
Yeah.
What is it?
This is a very special instrument. So a little bit of backstory on that. Back when we started out as a company doing these Art Deco styled instruments, the Starplayer concept was a different guitar from what it became later on and what it is today. So the Starplayer TV, our most popular model, is a very traditional semi-hollow, solid center block, bent sides, arched top and back. But back then, the Starplayer, which was not called TV back then, was a chambered mahogany body, mahogany neck, and a flat maple top. So that's tonally, that's an entirely different world from what it is today. And we are bringing this type of construction and this tonal aesthetics back this year for the 30th anniversary to harken back to what we did, but to also fill a gap in our lineup in terms of tone that has existed for many years. So we're calling this the Starplayer CBR. It's not a TV, it's a CBR. And this is the 30th anniversary collector's edition of that. It's finished in a gold leaf checkerboard design. It has the new flat tremolo arm. We call this tremolo the Diamond Prestige. And this is limited to 30 pieces worldwide. So as I said, this is a chambered instrument. It's a solid two-piece mahogany body, mahogany neck. We've got a rosewood veneer on the headstock, black pickguard, and of course the gold leaf checkerboard. Aside from that, we still stuck with regular tonal decisions that we make on a lot of our instruments, which is a humbucker by the bridge and a P90 in the front, which gives you a lot of versatility.
Now I know that there's only 30 of these, but the CBR comes in different colors, different versions, right? We do have a regular production version of that. Let's check that out right now. So these are the production guitars?
Exactly. These are the regular production Starplayer CVRs that will be in the lineup probably for many years. We have that in 5 different colors. This is all the same instrument that we talked about before. We still have the mahogany back, the mahogany neck, rosewood headstock front, rosewood fretboard. We have pearl dot inlays, the P90 by the neck, the Grand Vintage humbucker by the bridge. We have a 5-way switch on these instruments, which is unusual. The regular Starplayer TV has a 3-way switch. You get the same positions, the same wiring as with the Starplayer TV, but you get 2 extra ones. So just quickly running through these. It's obviously the P90 on its own, the Grand Vintage on its own, both combined. And then we have 2 in-between positions where we do different frequency filtering, different out-of-phase things. We do splitting of certain things. So to go into detail on any of these would be a little too much, but you get, aside from the regular combinations that you would get with a 3-way switch, you get 2 additional in-between positions. Yeah, so
tonally, you get 2 extra in comparison with the regular Starplayer TV.
Exactly, yeah. These all have the flat arm. They all have a flame maple top, bound F-hole. You get all the nice little things that you get with a Duesenberg instrument, like, you know, things like that. The custom jack plate, the truss rod cover, the tuners. So this is all standard Duesenberg hardware, very high quality, very reliable. And we have that in 5 different colors. This is what we call the tobacco burst. This is transparent black burst. This is something that we have never really done before. Usually a lot of the Duesenberg instruments are black. Sometimes they're white, but most of them are black. And to have colors combined with the classic brown tone is very unique for us. This is the Catalina green. We first introduced this color for the 40th anniversary model for Mike Campbell. We use 2 white stripes on that color, but this is the same color. We use the silver pickguard and the silver pickup rings on that. Usually a lot of our instruments have black plastics, and we wanted to do something a little bit different with this one. Personally, for me, This looks like an old British race car.
It is, yeah.
With the brown steering wheel, the British racing green, silver parts, the shiny nickel parts.
It's very classy.
This is my personal favorite. And we also have it in a transparent honey. Again, flame maple top and a transparent vintage orange. This one also has the silver pickguard and the silver rings. All the other ones have black.
Yeah.
And that's the Starplayer CBR.
When will it be in the stores?
The first batch of these models is scheduled to ship from April. That is the new thing that we're adding this year, to add something new to our lineup, but we're also adding a couple of things which are additions to existing models.
We're standing in front of two spectacular looking guitars.
Yeah, I agree. This is the Starplayer TV Velvet series. In terms of construction, this is along the lines of a classic Starplayer TV, so you have a solid center block, bent sides, arch top and back. It's all classic construction. But what makes this really special is, one, the finish. These are both matte all over, matte finishes. And they also have gold hardware and our custom Split King pickups. So what's very special about the Split King pickups is that they allow you to have both real single coil and real humbucker tone. So what we did with this pickup is that we started with a proper single coil, the best one you would want to have. And we found a way to add a second coil to that pickup that makes that single coil sound like a humbucker when you have both coils combined. But when you split this pickup, you're left with an actual single coil. So this really does give you both. But we think it's a much better approach to delivering both tones than splitting a humbucker. These are the two mode switches for the Split King pickups. So it's just a tiny little two-way switch. But what this does, these two screws right here allow you to raise them out of the pickguard or lower them inside, depending how much you want them to stick out. If like that, we like to set them up this way, so they're not in the way when you play and you don't hit them accidentally. But you can get them further out. You can just have them stick out a tiny little bit so that you can use the tip of your finger to just adjust.
This might be one of the most classy looking guitars I've ever seen.
Yeah, and I personally really like the break between design concepts here, because the Starplayer TV is a very classic looking guitar. You have the beautiful shaped F-hole, the bindings and everything, very classic instrument. But the matte finish for me really creates a nice break. It's a modern color on a very, very retro looking instrument. And for me, that's just beautiful. And that's the Starplayer TV Velvet series. Now we also have a new spec for the Paloma. The Paloma, next to the Starplayer TV line and a couple of our artist collaboration models, is our most popular instrument. And the Paloma usually comes with a humbucker and two single coils. And this one now is, we call this the Paloma Custom. And it has also two of the Split King pickups. You get the same two switches here. But with three pickups, you get a five-way switch, and you get two additional switches to set the mode for each of the Split Kings. So this thing is versatile forever. You can do anything on this guitar.
Yeah. Also, the basic design where you have two humbuckers and a single coil in the middle is very much used on, let's call it more like metal guitar.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a different,
like a power strat, super strat. Yeah, exactly.
Is it also a kind of play you like to attract with this guitar?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Paloma is already, as it is, the standard version, which comes with a humbucker and two single coils, is an extremely versatile instrument, and you can do anything.
Yeah.
Much like on most of our instruments, we always try to give you tonally, technically, the most you can get, because it's always possible to remove something. Sometimes just with the tone knob, just dial it back a little bit, but it's very tough technically to add something that's not there.
Yeah.
And that's the same with this model. And I wouldn't even say that this is meant to be in a certain genre. Maybe it's not the guitar that you would use for super high gain metal. Most of our guitars aren't, some are. But this is like a workhorse. You can take this instrument and play everything on it.
Yeah. Interesting thing you mentioned that, you know, high gain is not really a Duesenberg thing, but you do have some guitars that go that way.
Yeah.
Which are they?
Just last year, to give fans of the brand that really want to do something like that, we released the Phantom line. The Phantom comes in two, let's call it flavors. One is more vintage oriented with classic Alnico 2 pickups and more, you know, for the classic stuff.
Yeah.
These are the ones that also come in classic bursts. This is the Phantom A series, and this is more catered towards people who want it a little rougher. These have higher output pickups. This one comes in a matte olive with black hardware. That was a first for us. And a very spectacular pearl binding.
Yeah, awesome.
And that is what our most high gain oriented instrument is. You can do very hard rock to metal on these instruments. Of course, they're solid, so you won't have any problems with feedback. The pickups are more tuned toward that type of gain settings. And we have that in a matte olive, a black, and a white. So one more addition to the Paloma line is the Paloma baritone. People really love our baritones.
Yeah.
And I think in part it's because the build quality is extremely high. You get a tremolo, which is rare on a baritone guitar, and the tremolos are known to be very stable, very reliable. This is a workhorse of a baritone, and it comes in black sparkle, and it's just a new addition to the Paloma line.
Do you think that baritones are becoming more popular?
I think they are. I think they are. For a lot of people, I think it's a second instrument, aside from a regular six-string, regular tuning guitar. But you can do a lot of interesting things on a baritone guitar.
Yeah.
And for me, always when I pick up a guitar that's tuned differently, it opens up a new creative world that makes you play different things.
Yeah, it's a whole new palette.
You ever had that?
Yeah.
I also have that with open tunings.
Yep.
Because I'm not a guy who plays a lot of open tunings, but every time I pick up a guitar with an open tuning, it opens up. Usually I get out of this session with something that I've never done before.
Yeah. Talking about baritones, I think Joey Landreth plays a baritone.
He does sometimes, yeah.
And this is his signature guitar. This is not a baritone, but...
Yeah, that's not a baritone. What other people call signature instruments, we call alliance instruments. That's our alliance line.
Okay.
We have a couple of artist collaborations, collect them over the years. And there are a lot of interesting instruments because we always try to make an instrument that fulfills all of the artist's dreams, but that's also made for everybody. So that it's, that everybody can get some sort of value out of the instrument, that it's not just something super over the top. And the Joey Landreth model is very special because with the pickups that we used for his guitar, we really wanted to achieve the three different sounds that he loves from his heroes. He plays a lot of slide, and there's a lot of interesting things that you can do with this instrument. This is based on a Paloma model in our Catalina Sunset Rose finish, which is like a rose-like metallic finish. Really beautiful. Sometimes it changes from a brass kind of tone to a pinkish metallic. I think that's really beautiful. Also with a big pickguard, 2 stripes on the headstock. That's a very special guitar. We're not the company that like has an artist department that sends out inquiries to different artists. Usually the projects where the artist comes to us are the projects that work best in the long run, and we always have so much fun, and it's so different to work with different kinds of artists. They all have different requirements, different wishes. You know, sometimes it's just finishes. Yeah. And that's always a lot of fun. We never do any contracts with anybody. Nobody has to play our instruments. No, but that's a good thing. If you have people approaching you because they are, you know, already connected to the guitars, have a history with them, then it's genuine, right? Then it's an honest thing. Yeah, and usually when people contact us about an alliance instrument, they are already in the Duesenberg world. They have already tried a couple of things, and maybe they didn't find the single instrument that works perfectly for them, and then they reach out and say, hey, can we work something out? Good stuff.